Twin Peaks broke just about every rule in the book for primetime television when it first aired on ABC over 32 years ago. The world of today seems a far cry from that surreal yet oddly relatable small-town murder mystery series of so long ago. And yet there's something about Twin Peaks that keeps fans of the show coming back again and again. Now, I don't have to tell you that the influences of Twin Peaks can be felt far and wide in popular entertainment, even to this day. But so rarely do we see such a soulful and wonderfully strange set of beautiful characters that seem so paradoxically real and yet somehow dreamlike that after the final scene fades to black and the credits have long since rolled, we are left to wonder, what are we to make of such an experience? Where do we take this from here? We are left with this sinking feeling that not much else compares to Twin Peaks. And anything else which does, even mildly so, would be a welcomed respite from the absurdly tired parade of soulless, cookie-cutter, and often propagandized entertainment, which we are unfortunately subjected to today. Now, I should give you a word of warning here. If you haven't seen Twin Peaks, or if it's been a long time since you have, then you should proceed with caution. It's best to interpret Twin Peaks in your own way, based on your own perspective. But it's always fun to hear someone else's perspectives too. So I'm not here to tell you that you need to watch Twin Peaks, although I don't know why you would watch this video without having seen it, but that's up to you. Now, for the uninitiated, for those who enjoy my work but haven't seen the show, all I'm going to say is that you really have no idea what you're missing, and I'll just leave it at that. For those existing subscribers of mine that have seen Twin Peaks and have enjoyed my previous videos, then I think you're really going to like this one. And for any new viewers to my channel that are here just for Twin Peaks, I think there's going to be a fair amount of information that you may already be aware of. However, you will likely discover some new and challenging perspectives that you may not have considered before. Now, my presentation style can be a bit meandering at times, but along this winding and paradoxical path, I can assure you there will be gems aplenty. I really had no idea what I was getting myself into with this project, as it nearly broke my brain for, I would say, the better part of a year, until I experienced what felt like a sort of violent shaking of an aircraft going faster and faster until it finally broke the sound barrier. And at that point, I discovered what felt like, to me at least, is the perfect way to understand Twin Peaks. Will this be the perfect way to explain Twin Peaks for you? Probably not. But that isn't what artistic expression is supposed to be about in the first place. The interaction between the subject and the object is where the magic lives. So this video is not going to explain every last detail, but it does and will go deeply into the esoteric and mystical elements of Twin Peaks specifically. I haven't seen any videos treat Twin Peaks through the lens of spirituality and esotericism, so this is the angle I'm taking in this series. Now, Twin Peaks will never be completely understood or resolved, so I'm just going to say that right from the beginning, which is the entire point. Its genius in this specific art form is that it taps into directly a certain eternal or dynamic force that is the essence of reality and existence. Something which does not stay still long enough for us to nail it down and to classify it in any objective sense. That simply isn't how the laws of the universe work in the first place, and Twin Peaks demonstrates its deep awareness of this wonderful and mysterious dynamic. Of course, it's also a very deeply human story, a story of tragedy and hope, as all good stories are. And this story in Twin Peaks definitely holds up a mirror to ourselves and this crazy world that we inhabit. In 32 years' time, most media may seem hopelessly outdated and irrelevant in comparison. However, Twin Peaks inhabits this very rare Goldilocks zone of timelessness that few works could ever hope to achieve. Some might even call it transcendent. In addition to Twin Peaks entering its fourth decade, there is another important milestone worth mentioning, which is that the year 2023 will mark David Lynch's 50th anniversary of his twice-daily practice of transcendental meditation. 50 years and over 36,000 sessions of any practice in one lifetime is really an incredible achievement. It helps us understand a little bit why Mr. Lynch's mind seems to be such a deep repository of creativity, or at least how he is able to tap into this great source of pure conscious awareness. Now, the main reason I mention this is because of the deeply spiritual and transcendent themes found in Twin Peaks, which are often overlooked but have unfortunately rarely been discussed. Now, themes to do with the nature of consciousness, meaning versus meaninglessness, and quantum physics are a few key topics of exploration in Twin Peaks. Now, just some fair warning, this video series may lead to more questions than answers in certain respects, which I think is as it should be. Now, Mr. Lynch's work is a mirror, as is the case with any high level of artistic expression. Our particular and respective approaches or our interpretations are going to vary wildly. And they depend on many factors, including when we are in our lives, where we are, and who we believe ourselves to be. Going inward and seeing what is to be discovered is where the greatest treasure is to be found. And Twin Peaks, for me personally, has proven to be a gateway into a world which has afforded me a much greater understanding that I may not have had if I hadn't started this project in the first place. Mostly in the beginning of this video, I'm going to be laying down some essential, esoteric, and occulted groundwork before we get rolling and explore the nitty-gritty details of the story of Twin Peaks. So in that regard, this video is going to, it's not going to appeal to everyone, or probably not most Twin Peaks fans that are maybe in love with the aesthetic and don't really want to take it any deeper, which is perfectly fine. We all have our own levels of understanding, and so there's no judgment here. After all, not everyone is ready for this sort of thing, and that is perfectly okay. We are where we are in our lives for whatever reason, or perhaps for no reason at all. We should neither condemn ourselves nor each other for where we happen to be. So, an even smaller number of you may see this video at the right time in your lives and it may serve as a gateway into your own inward exploration of discovery. It's that small group of you that I am dedicating this video to.